Throw away for obvious reasons. I guess I need to get this out before I explode. I've been sitting on this for a while. The story of how I found out my wife was basically living a second life, lying to my face like it was nothing. I still can't believe how long I let it go on. I'm writing this more for myself than anything, but maybe someone out there needs to hear it too. Maybe someone's living through something like this right now. So here's the thing. On paper, we were solid. Been together 6 years, married for 3. We met at a mutual friend's barbecue, and she was the kind of person who lit up the room. Charming, witty, effortlessly magnetic. People liked her, including me. I fell hard and fast. I thought she was my partner in life. My ride or die. All that bullshit. The first crack? It was stupid. A little white lie. She said she was working late one night. I was bored and decided to swing by her office and surprise her with coffee and a muffin. Cute, right? Except she wasn't there. The office was dark. I remember standing outside in the parking lot with that damn coffee, texting her. Hey, just stopped by to say hi. Where are you? She took a full hour to respond. Oh, babe. I'm so sorry. I left early, wasn't feeling well. Did you drive all the way here? I should have told you. I remember thinking, okay, no big deal. People forget. Maybe she felt sick. I mean, who lies about working late, right? Especially for something that trivial? But the seed was planted. I felt it, a twitch in my gut I ignored. And that twitch? It would eventually turn into a full-on alarm siren screaming in my head. I just didn't know it yet. That night, she came home with soup and my favorite cookies to make up for the confusion. She cuddled up to me like nothing was wrong. And I convinced myself nothing was wrong. God, I was an idiot. After that, working late, night, things didn't immediately spiral. She went back to being herself, maybe even more affectionate than usual. I chalked it all up to my own paranoia. People make mistakes. Maybe I was being overbearing. But then the little things started piling up. Her phone was always face down, always on silent. She used to be the kind of person who'd laugh at memes with me or scroll Instagram on the couch. But suddenly, she was super protective of it. Like, bathroom trips with the phone, showering with the phone, charging it behind the TV in the bedroom. You know, where I'd never bother to look. Once, while she was in the shower, I noticed a notification light blinking. I wasn't trying to snoop. I swear I wasn't. But curiosity got the better of me. I tapped it. It was a Snapchat notification from G with a devil emoji. That's it. I didn't even know she had Snapchat. Not anymore, at least. She told me she deleted it years ago because it was juvenile and toxic. I asked her once, casually, and she played it off like I was imagining things. No, babe. I don't even have the app. Why would I be on Snapchat? That stuff is for teenagers. But here's the thing. She didn't even ask me why I brought it up. She didn't get mad, or curious, or anything. She just redirected. She started rubbing my shoulders, telling me I'd been working too hard and needed to relax. And it worked. I let it go. Again, I told myself I trusted her. Read it. I didn't realize it then, but I was becoming someone I didn't even recognize, someone who ignored the truth because the lie was easier to swallow. I had no idea what was coming. Okay, here's where things take a turn. Like a real turn. It was a Saturday night, mid-June. I remember because it was hot as hell, and she said she was going out with the girls for a wine night. That wasn't unusual. She had her circle, and I never wanted to be that husband. Controlling. Suspicious. Weird. So I smiled, said, have fun, and told her to text me when she got there. She didn't. Midnight rolls around. No message. I check her location on Life 360. We'd set it up years ago, mainly for safety when traveling. Weirdly, it was turned off. Another seed planted. By 1 a.m., I was pacing. I texted her, no response. Called, straight to voicemail. Then, around 1:45, I hear her come in. She stumbles through the door, tipsy but not hammered. She smells like vodka and something else. Not perfume, not wine. Something cheap and musky. I ask her how her night went. So boring. Sarah got into a fight with her boyfriend again, and Rachel cried about her cat. Just drama. She's peeling off her heels like nothing's wrong. No mention of the phone, the location being turned off, nothing. So I ask real calm, why was your phone off? She pauses, just for a second, but it was long enough to register. Battery died. I forgot my charger in Sarah's car. Except, I saw her pack her charger in her purse before she left. She didn't even try to lie well. She was just throwing things at the wall, hoping I'd stop asking. And again, I almost did. I almost convinced myself she just forgot. But then came the final gut punch of that night. She went to the bathroom and left her purse on the kitchen counter. I never look through her stuff. I respect boundaries. But I swear to you, something told me to check. So I opened it. Inside, a receipt. One from a fancy rooftop bar across town. Time-stamped 11:37 p.m. for 2 espresso martinis, 1 whiskey neat, and an order of sliders. Just 2 drinks. 2 meals. A receipt for 2 people. That's when my stomach dropped. She wasn't with the girls. She was on a date. And she lied straight to my face about it. I felt something inside me twist. Like a part of me had just quietly snapped in half. And still, I didn't confront her. I just sat on it. Numb. Angry. Confused. God help me. I wasn't ready to face the truth yet. After that night, something shifted in me. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't look at her the same way. Every time she laughed, every time she kissed me, it felt fake. Manufactured. I started wondering how many of those moments were real, and how many were just her keeping up the act. But here's the thing. I still wasn't ready to confront her. Not yet. I needed proof. Not just a receipt, not just a hunch. I needed something undeniable, because deep down, I wanted her to have an explanation. I wanted to be wrong. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I started checking her phone while she slept. The first night, I waited until she was out cold, that kind of deep, drooling sleep, and I used her thumb to unlock it. She had nothing in her messages, nothing in her call log. Her browser history was squeaky clean. But then I checked the hidden photos folder. Boom. There they were. Mirror selfies in a hotel room, not ours. Her in lingerie I'd never seen before. Her with another man's hands on her hips, his face out of frame, but clearly someone tall, tan, built. A stranger. One video, just 6 seconds long, of her laughing in bed, holding a wine glass, saying, "Stop filming, you idiot," and tossing a pillow at whoever was behind the camera. I nearly dropped the phone. It felt like getting hit by a car, except somehow worse. You know that scene in movies where everything slows down and your ears ring and your heart pounds like a war drum? That was me, alone in my own home, holding my wife's phone, watching her cheat on me in high def. I didn't wake her up. I didn't scream. I didn't rage. I just sat there. She was snoring next to me, her hand resting on my arm like nothing was wrong, like she hadn't just burned our entire life down. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the living room watching the sun rise through the blinds, holding her phone in my hands like it was radioactive. At one point, I thought about leaving, just walking out, packing a bag, ghosting her, starting over. But I wanted to hear her say it. I needed to look her in the eye and make her lie to me again. So I waited. When she came into the kitchen in the morning, hair messy, wearing my hoodie like some sweet little wife out of a sitcom, I felt sick. But I played it cool. Made coffee. Handed her a mug. Sat down. And then I said it. "So who's the guy in the hotel room?" She froze. Didn't blink. Didn't flinch. Just slowly turned her head toward me and said, "What are you talking about?" I held her phone up and opened the hidden folder. She didn't look shocked. She didn't start crying. She didn't even get mad. She smirked. "Wow, you went through my phone while I was sleeping? That's a lot." That was her first response. Not denial, not remorse, not even anger, just deflection. Accuse me of invading her privacy. Classic narcissist 101. I said, "Don't play games. You're cheating. I saw the videos." She actually rolled her eyes. "Okay, first of all, that was months ago. We weren't even doing well back then. You were emotionally unavailable. I told you that." I stared at her, jaw halfway to the floor. This woman was rewriting history in real time, like it was my fault she decided to hop into bed with some guy behind my back. "So you admit it," I said. "It wasn't cheating, she said, waving her hand like we were talking about forgetting to buy milk. "It was a mistake. And if you really loved me, you'd understand why it happened." That's when I knew. She wasn't sorry. Not one bit. She didn't regret what she did. She regretted getting caught. I stood up and walked out the front door. No shoes. No plan. Just pure adrenaline and disbelief. I walked around the block twice before I could even feel my legs. This woman had just torched our marriage and blamed me for handing her the lighter. And somehow, it was only going to get worse from here. After the confrontation, we didn't talk much for 2 days. She acted like I was the one who needed to cool off, like I had overreacted to a mistake. I slept on the couch. She slammed doors. The tension was unbearable, but I still hadn't processed it all. It was like I was watching my life happen from outside my body. Then came the next bomb. I started digging. Not proud of it, but I had to know who the guy was. She didn't offer anything. No apology. No explanation. So I did what any betrayed husband with a bruised ego and Wi-Fi would do. I became a full-on investigator. And I found him. It wasn't hard. In one of the mirror selfies on her phone, there was a name on the hotel receipt on the nightstand, partially visible. I zoomed in. J. Moreno. I searched the name and cross-referenced it with her workplace's LinkedIn page. Boom. There he was. Jason Moreno, senior project manager at her company. Her boss's boss. Let that sink in. The man she cheated on me with wasn't some random bar guy or ex-boyfriend. He was a married 42-year-old father of two who managed her team. And she never mentioned him once. Not in 6 years of stories, venting, or casual work talk. She scrubbed him from her narrative entirely. Now I understood why. I lost it. I called her into the living room, pointed at his profile on my laptop, and said, "This him?" She barely glanced before saying, "I'm not doing this with you. That's your boss, right? Jason? This is the guy from the hotel." She sighed, like I was annoying her. "Why are you acting like this is new information?" New information. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a slip-up. This wasn't a one-night thing. This had been going on for months, maybe years. And she'd just been living life like it was completely normal. Going to dinner with me, meeting my parents, planning vacation dates, while secretly sleeping with her boss and telling me I was emotionally distant. I asked her if his wife knew. She laughed. Laughed. God, no. She'd lose it. He said she's super controlling. I stared at her, stunned. She'd become someone I didn't even recognize, cold, detached, almost amused by the pain she caused. I didn't even cry. I couldn't. My body was running on rage and disbelief. And deep down, I knew what I had to do next. That night, I didn't sleep. Again, I lay on the couch with my laptop open, staring at Jason Moreno's smug LinkedIn headshot and my wife's Instagram, wondering how long I'd been the dumbass husband in the background while they played house in hotel rooms. She thought I wouldn't do anything, that I'd sulk, maybe beg, maybe just stew in the shame of being the lesser man. But she forgot something important. I had nothing left to lose. So I made the call. I found Jason's wife's Facebook. Her name's Elena. I scrolled through photos of their 2 kids, their backyard pool, their golden retriever. Basically the same Hallmark life my wife and I were pretending to have. I found her work number. She's a dental hygienist, and I called her clinic the next morning. I told the receptionist I had an urgent personal matter and needed to speak to her directly. My hands were shaking, my throat was dry, but when she picked up, I told her the truth. "Hi, I know this is a lot to take in, but I think your husband has been having an affair with my wife." Silence. Just dead silence. Then, "Jason." I confirmed it. I told her I had pictures, videos, dates. I didn't sugarcoat it. I was calm, direct, and I gave her my number in case she wanted proof. She didn't cry. She thanked me. And then she hung up. 5 minutes later, the fireworks began. My wife's phone started blowing up. Texts, missed calls, from Jason. She went pale. She was standing in the kitchen, phone in hand, when she turned to me and said, "What the F*** K did you do?" I shrugged, told the truth. She lost it. She screamed at me like I'd betrayed her, like I had broken her trust. She called me childish, vindictive, petty. I didn't raise my voice once. I just watched her unravel, and I realized something right then. She wasn't sorry she cheated. She wasn't sorry she lied. She was sorry her little fantasy life got nuked. That's the moment I truly began letting go. Not just of the marriage, but of her. It all unraveled fast after that. I didn't hear anything from Jason's wife directly after the call, but I did hear the fallout. Through the walls, the phone, and my wife's sudden interest in locking herself in the bedroom for hours. 3 days later, she came home from work early. Eyes puffy, makeup smudged. She tossed her bag on the floor like it weighed 100 pounds and muttered, "He got suspended." I said nothing, just sipped my coffee and waited. HR launched an investigation. Someone tipped them off. His wife emailed the company. I tilted my head like I was surprised. But I wasn't, because I had tipped them off, too. Yep. I sent an anonymous email to her company's ethics department. Attached a few screenshots, the kind that don't lie, a hotel receipt or two, and a polite paragraph explaining how a senior manager had been engaged in a months-long affair with a subordinate. I didn't expect them to fire him. Corporate HR is mostly there to protect the company. But apparently Elena, Jason's wife, came in swinging because word spread fast. She outed him to his bosses, his colleagues, and their kids' school board. My wife. She was collateral damage. And that's what hit her the hardest. "They're watching me now," she said that night. "I'm being reassigned. I might lose my project." I finally looked at her and said, "You still don't get it, do you?" She blinked. "You didn't just cheat on me. You slept with your married boss, lied about it for months, used me as your cover, and acted like you were the victim when it blew up in your face." She had no answer. Just sat there, eyes glassy, breathing like she'd just run a marathon. I thought watching her crumble would make me feel vindicated, like justice had been served. But it didn't. All I felt was empty, because no amount of truth or revenge would ever give me back the version of her I thought I loved. Once the dust settled and Jason was put on leave, I made my decision. I was done. No therapy. No second chances. No, we can rebuild. I was finished playing the role of the clueless husband while she spiraled deeper into her web of lies. But I didn't tell her right away. I wanted to be methodical about it. Quiet. Precise. I started making copies of everything. Bank statements. House documents. Joint passwords. Credit cards. Screenshots of every single thing I'd found on her phone. I opened a new checking account in my name only. Transferred half. I talked to a lawyer. I made a plan. But the weirdest part? The more distant I got, the more desperate she became. She started acting like the perfect wife. Cooking dinner, folding my laundry, initiating sex again, which I refused. No chance in hell I was going near her. She'd come into the living room with that fake smile plastered on and say things like, "I know I messed up, but we can fix this, right? We've been through worse." Worse? Like what? Me forgetting to clean the garage? This woman actually thought cheating with her married boss was in the same category as a rough patch. Then came the tears. Then the breakdowns. Then the manipulation. "If you leave me, I have nothing. You want to throw away 6 years because of one mistake." That line, it was her favorite. One mistake. Except it wasn't one. It was dozens. And it wasn't even the cheating that killed me. It was the lying. The months of looking me in the eye, laughing with me, sleeping beside me, all while building an entire secret life with someone else. So when I finally told her I wanted a divorce, she went cold. Like ice cold. The tears dried up. The fake sweetness vanished. She just looked at me and said, "Fine, but you'll regret this." And in that moment, I knew she never loved me the way I loved her. Because someone who loves you doesn't threaten you when you're trying to heal. So yeah, after I told her I was filing for divorce, she switched gears fast. The moment she realized I wasn't bluffing, she stopped crying and started scheming. Classic. She moved out 2 weeks later. Went to stay with a friend, which I later found out was not a friend, but Jason's Airbnb. Yeah, the same man whose life she helped set on fire. I guess betrayal is their love language now. Anyway, I thought we were finally done with the drama. Spoiler, we weren't. About a week after she moved out, I started getting weird texts from mutual friends. "Hey, man, just heard what happened. Really sorry, but cheating? Are you sure? She said you two had an open marriage? That you knew about Jason? Dude, she's telling people you've been abusive." I had to read that last one 3 times. Abusive. She was telling people I had been emotionally manipulative, that I was controlling, jealous, that I pushed her away and monitored her phone because I was insecure. Which, yeah, I checked her phone. After I had evidence she was cheating. After she lied again and again. But that's what narcissists do, right? They flip the narrative. They torch your life and then hand you the lighter and say, "Why'd you do this?" I didn't engage. Didn't post on social media. Didn't text back the friends who bought her BS. You know what I did instead? I emailed my lawyer every single receipt. The photos. The hidden album. The hotel bills. The anonymous HR tip. Everything. Let her spin whatever story she wanted. I had the truth. And more importantly, I had peace. The day my lawyer slid the divorce papers across the table, I saw something I hadn't seen in months. Real fear. She was sitting there, makeup smeared like a bad crime scene, trying to look composed but failing miserably. The bravado was gone. No threats. No fake tears. Just a broken woman who finally realized this was real. I kept it cold and simple. Sign here. That's all I need. She hesitated. You're taking everything from me, she said, voice cracking. No, I replied. You lost at the moment you decided to cheat, lie, and drag me through this nightmare. I'm just taking back what's mine. And then the bombshell. You think you're better than me? Without me, you're nothing. Her words stung, but they didn't break me. In fact, that's when I finally understood. This whole thing wasn't about us or the marriage. It was about her ego, her control, her delusions. I signed my name and handed back the pen. I was free. Once the divorce was official, I felt like I'd stepped off a cliff and landed on concrete. Bruised, broken, but alive. The first few weeks? Brutal. I was haunted by memories, every lie, every betrayal. But I knew I couldn't live there forever. So I started small. Took up running again to clear my head. Joined a local English conversation group to sharpen my language skills. Because honestly, after all the lies, I needed something honest to focus on. Dived into books and podcasts about relationships, trust, and self-worth. It wasn't just about improving my English or my fitness. It was about changing my life. No more toxic people. No more lies. No more pretending. And here's the crazy part. The more I worked on myself, the less her shadow haunted me. I wasn't just recovering. I was growing. But after months of healing, I realized one thing. I deserved better. The first date was awkward. Lots of silences and stumbling over words. But she was kind, patient. And for the first time in a long time, I felt seen without pretending. What surprised me most? How much my new confidence helped. I wasn't chasing validation anymore. I was just being me. No lies, no masks. That's when I understood what my ex never did. Trust and honesty are everything. And if someone can't respect that, they're not worth your time. After months of back and forth and some ugly moments in court, the divorce was finalized for good. No more calls, no more texts, no more pretending. I deleted her number, blocked her on everything, and finally, for the first time in years, I felt free. It wasn't just freedom from her lies or betrayal. It was freedom from the weight of carrying that pain inside me. I started to forgive, not her, but myself, for staying too long, for trusting too much, for losing parts of me in the process. I learned that sometimes, the hardest part isn't the betrayal itself, but realizing you have the power to walk away and rebuild. If you're reading this and feeling betrayed, lost, or broken because of someone you loved, here's what I want you to know. You are not the problem. Lies, cheating, and betrayal are choices they make, not a reflection of your worth. Trust your gut. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Your instincts are often right. Don't be afraid to walk away. Staying for hope, or what if, often just drags out the pain. Freedom starts the moment you decide it. Work on you. Pick up a hobby, improve your skills, learn a language, anything that helps you grow into your best self. You owe that to yourself. Lean on people who really care. True friends don't judge or take sides. They just support you. I won't lie, it hurt like hell. It still stings sometimes. But I'm stronger now, smarter, and more cautious about who I let into my life. And honestly, I'm hopeful again. So, if you're stuck in the storm, hang tight. Change is possible. Better days are ahead. Feel free to ask if you want me to help you write posts like this in the future, or if you want me to tweak the tone or details.